I don't talk to myself the way that other people talk to me. So when they talk to me and they tell me things that I don't believe myself, I think they're lying. All right, everybody, welcome to the Thursday Thoughts episode of the Solo Musician Podcast. I'm Dave Gates. It's great to be here with you for another week. Before I jump into this week's episode, I want to tell you about a local songwriters round happening here right in central Pennsylvania. It's hosted by a good friend of mine, Stephen Robert. It's going to be at Horn Pub in Lewisberry, Pennsylvania, February 23rd. That's this coming Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. If you've never participated in a songwriters round, it's a lot like an open mic, except for there's going to be 3 people on stage at a time. And they'll be up there playing their songs and kind of explaining the process behind them. Now, another thing with songwriters rounds, and I don't know if they're going to do it at this specific one, but in Nashville, a lot of times you'll have songwriter rounds where you workshop. At the end of it, everybody gets suggestions and they figure out new lyrics. If you're struggling to find lyrics for a song, you bring it to the songwriters round. They can help you punch it up, is what they would say in comedy, right? So they're taking what you have and they're just adding their own flair to it. Because one great thing about songwriting is that it doesn't have to just be you. It can be a collective of people. When you get all those different perspectives and those different writing styles and those different lyrical takes on the music that you create, you can create something that you were trying to say, but you didn't have the words to say it. Somebody else gave you the words to say it, possibly, or they gave you a couple words to help you tie it all together. So if you're in the central Pennsylvania area this coming Sunday, stop out at Horn Pub in Lewisberry from 2 to 5 p.m., check out the Songwriters Round, hosted by Stephen Robert from Hank the Buffalo. All right, let's get into the podcast for this week. And my podcast for this week is about how much I think it's actually a beneficial thing in some ways to be a hypocrite. Let me explain that. What I mean is that when you're hypocritical, when you have moments where you're like, oh, I tell people to do this, and then I do this. I'm just going to use myself as an example because I'm the biggest hypocrite I know. Last night at the open mic I was at, one of my friends, a guy that I really respect in the local music scene here, he came up to me after I was done playing my set at the open mic, and he said to me, I loved your voice. Your voice sounded so good. Your dexterity and the way that you can control your voice and how fluid it is and full, and it sounds incredible. You have such good control over your voice. And you know what I said to him? I said, well, I thought I sucked. I thought I sounded terrible. I thought that I was missing all the notes, and I appreciate you saying what you said. I just felt terrible with my performance. Now, one thing I've covered on the podcast before is not unvalidating somebody's opinion of you. So whenever somebody tells you that you're awesome, in their mind, you are awesome. They want to come over and tell you. So I took that moment from him. You know, he felt the need to come up and tell me that I had done a good job, and I just shrugged it off and dumped my own self-hate onto him. Now, why did I do that? That's where being a hypocrite, I think, is a great thing. Because if you are an aware hypocrite, let's call it that. Maybe you should be aware that you're a hypocrite, and then it's beneficial to you. When he walked away, I was like, I tell people all the time to not unvalidate somebody else's feelings. So why did I do that? It gave me a second to reflect on why I had taken that moment, why I had done what I tell people not to do. And after, driving home and thinking about it, I think I know why I did it. Everybody tells me that I am a good singer. Everybody tells me that I'm a good guitar player. But I don't tell myself that. I don't speak to myself in that way. I tell myself that I'm terrible. I tell myself that I can't hit a note. I tell myself that my voice is airy and that it lacks control and dexterity that I see in other singers. I don't talk to myself the way that other people talk to me. So when they talk to me and they tell me things that I don't believe myself, I think they're lying. I don't think that that's a great way to approach it. I learned that by being a hypocrite last night and then having to analyze why I was doing something I told other people not to do. So you know what that tells me? That tells me that I need to start being nicer to myself. That tells me that I need to talk to myself the same way that I would talk to one of my friends. Like, I would never walk up to one of my friends after they're set at an open mic and be like, that sucked. Even if they missed notes, even if they, forgot the lyrics to the song, even if they just butchered it. I would never walk up and be like, well, that was terrible. But every time I get off stage, there's a moment where I go, well, that was not good. Like, every single time I play. And I think that's because I'm critical of the way that I perform. I want it to be the best. I want to feel like it's the best. But how do you get past that? I don't know if anybody out there in podcast land or YouTube land has any tips or tricks on how to increase your self-confidence and maybe decrease your negative self-talk. I'm all ears if you do. I think that for me personally, I think I need to not talk to myself so negatively. And I think that will open the door for me to feel okay whenever people come up to tell me that I'm doing a good job, that they're not lying to me. Along the same lines of being a hypocrite, I had a podcast that I recorded with a nationwide music video promoter. And the guy has promoted tons of videos for artists like the Lumineers and 30 Seconds to Mars. And he did Johnny Cash's Hurt video. He was the lead on the promo for that video. And that's where he got his big break. While we were talking, I realized that I'm being a hypocrite. Whenever I recommend to the artists that I help, manage and consult, whenever I tell them how important social media posting is, how much you have to drive the algorithm, and it's about, scheduled content and blocked content and banked content, and how you use that to get more followers. And it's a tried and true method. You can grow your social following. You can get more gigs whenever you have a better promo video and you have more available pictures and live video of you playing. And then I look at my stuff and I've got one post, maybe two posts a week. They're just telling people where I'm going to play. It's not engaging content. So I kind of look at being a hypocrite as being a growth tool. I don't always want to be a hypocrite. I'm hoping most of the time that I'm walking the walk and talking the talk. But I think that being aware of those moments where I'm telling people to do things I'm not doing, I think that pays dividends because I need to make adjustments, right? We're so good at telling other people what to do, just as people. We're so good at, your friend has a relationship that's terrible, and you're giving him or her information to get out of that relationship. You're like, why are they still there? It makes no sense, right? I would be gone. And then you're in the same situation and you don't leave. Why is it? Is it because change is hard? Is it because the consequences and payoffs in somebody else's life don't pertain to ours? Is that why it's so much easier to see patterns and identify things that can be improved upon in other people's lives, but then when it comes to our lives, we just can't tie the two together? I'm hoping that the journey that I'm on in 2025 is something that is making me a better person, period. If I reach 2026 and I am in any way, shape, or form a better person than I was in 2025, that's a win for me. If I reach 2026 and I'm a better guitar player because I spent all year taking guitar lessons, that's a win. If I reach 2026 and I'm in better physical shape because I committed to a workout routine every day, that's a win for me. But if I don't take any actions whatsoever, and then I reach 2026 the same person that I didn't want to be in 2025, well, that is a shame. Then I am a hypocrite. Then I am the definition of somebody who is not walking the walk or talking the talk. And that's not the type of person I want to be. I don't think anybody wants to be that person. So I hope that right now, if you're working on something, you keep going. You keep trying, you keep adapting, You don't hit a wall and go, well, that's something I can never do, right? I hope that doesn't happen. You get a chance every day to do something different. You get a chance every day to try something new. You get a chance every day to right something that's wrong in your life. So take that chance. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I guarantee you, you're more capable at anything that you want to do than you think you are. So that's where I'm at for today. And I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, all that fun stuff. And I will check in with you guys next week for an episode with Andy Gessner from Hip Video Promo. And that's a very good episode. I hope you guys check it out. It talks a lot about what it's like to have a music video business in 2025. So, all right. Have a great weekend, guys. I will see you soon.
Don't stray by. Your love is our shining star.